Yeah, what's happening? I be the General Steele. You already know we building bridges, not walls, baby. And right now you checking out the B Shine. Brian, salute. The name of the project that's out now currently is called Building Bridges. It's about mending fences. It's about reaching out. It's about communicating. It's about creating something. It's about getting through the tunnel. Like when people say, everybody's going through it. Everybody's going through it. Building bridges is about actually going through it and getting to the other side. We have a gap in hip hop between the young ones and the elders, and it's like almost an imaginary line because the youngsters definitely respect the elders because they know where they came from, but the youngsters want the respect as well. So it's like we have to know that we are all part of the same thing. So that's like the way we communicate, reaching out to each other, extending a hand. That's what Building Bridges is about. And the music is pretty much the soundtrack of the heartbeat. It's the boom bap, it's the jazz, it's the soul, it's the vibe of how people communicate, an extension of us and our culture to say, hey man, let's have a conversation, let's talk. SK sent me like 40 beats. I'm like, oh my gosh. I listened to the beats. I gave that batch to VVS Verbal. Then he sent another 30 beats. So once we had the main tracks selected, we started the writing process. And the writing process took about maybe like a little less than 48 hours. Literally. Yeah, the writing process for myself and Verbal, we literally sat there and wrote to all of the tracks. I think at some point we began to be excited about what we was doing.
And in particular, this night, we were just vibing out to some beats. We had a couple of the other buddies there, and, it was like, oh, I'm going to do this beat, I'm going to pick that beat, I'm going to pick that beat, and so it was that type of vibe. So me, I clonked out. I spent the night. We woke up the next morning, and, we had some breakfast. We was kicking it. And it just felt right, we was already vibing. So in my mind, it was like, you know what? The big bro was actually doing phone-in interviews. He had about 2 or 3 phone-in interviews. So I had some free time. So I said, you know what? Let me get the joint jump started. So the bro saw I was vibing out and writing. So by the time he finished his phoners, it was like he saw what I was doing. And I actually texted him the verses so we could be on the same page. You understand what I'm saying? And then he started writing in his world. And it's funny because like we were together the rest of that whole day and nighttime. We didn't even kick it. The only thing we did was we might have like passed the spliff to one another, passed the spoon or fork or something. I didn't even kick it with him. We just was vibing and it was just beautiful. Like in my mind, it was like, wow, this is like amazing. Once I got to like the 8th joint, 9th joint, I'm like, wow, like we're really doing this in one day, I always felt confident in myself and, like in my ability. But after that day, it was like different type of confidence. It was like I can do anything.
When we listened to the tracks, when we finally put the tracks that we selected together, it was almost speaking to us automatically. And all we had to do was kind of like just put the words there. We discussed who we would like to be involved in the project. Once we recorded, we had a bigger picture of who can actually fit on these songs, so it started to take shape as we was doing. It's like work in progress. It's literally like building the bridge, literally getting to that the other side,
The last song on the album is named Kill Everything, right? When I first heard that beat, immediately I said, this the song for Rockness right here. It just felt like Rockness, you know what I mean? So when you hear the song like that, that's probably my shortest verse on the project. I did maybe 12 bars. In my mind, when I was writing to that, I was like, I'm going to have Rockness on this. I'm just on it to throw the alley-oop. I was feeling like Chris Paul on the beat, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm going to throw the alley-oop and just let Rockness come slam dunk it. So then when Rockness came and did what he did, me and the General looked at each other and the General was like, it's only one person that can close this record. And I'm like, you know what? I think I know who you about to say. And then it was like, we like rusty jokes.
I hope that when you listen to Building Bridges, you are inspired to create something. Many people think about like creating and they say, I can do this if I had that. And I think one thing about listening to this project and creating the project, like everything was like stripped away, so to speak. Like I'm used to going to the studios and recording with Tech, Smif-n-Wessun. We have to create the single. We have to have this whole campaign. Like we didn't go in recording this thinking that we had to do any of that stuff. We were just gonna like make these songs, put people on the songs, and just like put it out. But that allowed us to kind of be free and just create. And then in doing that, we created something that people actually enjoy. They actually dig it. Like they're like, cool. This is worthy of putting on vinyl, you know. And it's like, wow. Now it's like we're looking at it like, yo, this is really happening. Like it never happened before. You know. It's like it's a renewal. It's a resurgence. And it refreshing, you know. So I hope that when people listen to it, they're inspired to create something. They're inspired to write something. They're inspired to paint something. They're inspired to help somebody. They're inspired to go outside and clean the tree beds on their block or something like that, you know. Do something instead of pointing the finger. Like they say, you see something, say something. Like forget about that. If you see something, do something. Do something. If you see the lady struggling with the kids up the court, just help her. You know, open the door. Little chivalry. If you're a female and you see a man coming through the door, open the door for him. Like switch it up a little bit. Let's live a little bit. Let's have fun with this beautiful thing called life. That's what I hope that this project will do. Inspire us to enjoy our godly given breath. You know, and continue and pass it on to the little ones, man.
Building Bridges. I'm glad y'all appreciate it. And if you didn't get it, go to bucktownusa.com, go to duckdown.com. If you're looking for the vinyl, you could go to fatbeats.com. We working, you know, iTunes, Amazon, etc.
What he said with cheese on it. Mm-hmm.